So pretty much what I'm going to do in here, I had the piston at top dead center, and it's kind of hard to see, but visually, it does look like, you know, the piston has kind of a hump in it. One of these days I'll have proper lighting and I won't have a bunch of lens glare. Anyways guys, welcome back to the channel. I've cleaned some parts off camera, as well as I've also cleaned up that mouse nest on the H here, and we just got a couple other random projects to do here, so let's get to it. And truth be told, I'm sick of burning wood because every time I start up that wood burner, it seems like I'm out of the shop. But when I'm not running it, well, I'm in the shop. So screw it. I'm just dressing warm, and we're doing this the old-fashioned way, you could say. Anyways, so right here on the H, I got all the mouse nests just vacuumed up. If I wanted to do a perfect job, I'd just completely tear apart the whole tractor, and at that point, it'd be a full restoration. Who knows? Maybe that'll happen on this someday, but that's besides the point. So I got the mouse nest all vacuumed up. I'm not going to put the shutters on this video, but we will get that done in another video. There's 3 things I want to do in this video. First thing being, mount the parts that I cleaned up on the tractor. The second thing being is having a gander through the spark plug holes on the other side and seeing if these are fire crater pistons. And lastly, fixing the snowblower because it's leaking gas. This isn't my main blower. This is just a blower I'm trying to flip. All right, off to the first thing. I want to see if these are fire craters, and I'll get into that because the reasoning is I was digging through the carburetor trying to figure out its mysteries, and something kind of eluded me to wondering, I wonder if these are craters. Now here is the carb that I cleaned up, and there was actually some paint on it. I feel kind of bad. I accidentally scratched the paint off, but I got it pretty good. It does need some packing down here in the bottom nut. I did destroy that. So I will need to get some packing for that, but besides that, she's pretty dialed. But I'm going to take this apart and show you exactly why I think this might have fire craters. So this carb here, obviously is an International carb. The stamping on it, it's a DC blah, 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 blah carb. So basically, I was doing some research. This is like a OEM rebuilt one. This isn't like the original to this tractor. Because the original ones are like originally like D, DA, maybe DB. But I really got into looking into how these work just because that's how I am. I really enjoy learning how things work. So anyways, I got to taking this carburetor apart, and here's our idle jet right here, and here's our main air bleed. So usually the main air bleeds on these have a little orifice on the top, and I was looking at the schematic and I was reading how it works, and there's a cutout on the gasket here, and I'll show you guys, where this can basically send a signal from here to here. And I was looking closely at it, and I'm like, well, that looks like that's blocked off. What the heck is up with that? So, you know, I did tons of digging into it, and basically, from the consensus that I could put up with, or I could find, was that this might be a modified carburetor for fire crater pistons. This might be modified for some fire craters, because when I was doing my research online, they say if that's been plugged off, that might be for extra fueling for fire craters. So yeah, let me go on the tractor here and let's see if we got some fire crater pistons. It might be like 15 degrees out, but it's not windy, so honestly, I'm just chilling. I'm feeling totally fine. Now regularly, looking down the cylinder holes would be super easy, but there's a massive loader in the way. So is my luck. So pretty much what I'm going to do in here, I had the piston at top dead center, and it's kind of hard to see, but visually, it does look like, you know, the piston has kind of a hump in it. And if you guys aren't familiar with what fire crater pistons are, they're just essentially a higher compression piston that International Harvester did. And yeah, I can feel humping that. I wish I could show you guys on camera to like the best of my ability. But here, this is just kind of me pushing without any up or down force. We'll just let it slide naturally. See that? Yeah. We got fire crater pistons in this. I remember jokingly saying, I wonder if this has that, because when you rev this thing up, it sounds like a high compression engine, like, you know, hearing like a motorcycle, like a crotch rocket rev up. Well, I'm not saying this is a crotch rocket, but this does have that higher pitch bark in it, per se. And yeah, we have fire crater pistons in this old beater H here. So that's pretty sweet. Now this is the best shot I can get for you guys, but as you can tell there's definitely a hump. You can see where I was scratching my screwdriver on the surface. So that is the domed piston right there of the fire crater. You can definitely tell that, yeah, this cylinder is definitely worse for wear. I think this was the cylinder that was with the gummed up spark plug, but that's honestly totally changing how I look at this tractor. So it's got the radiator shutters, it's got the fire crater pistons. I don't really know what the fire crater pistons are as much of a hype as the dudes say they are, but that makes me kind of appreciate this thing a little bit more. So that's pretty sweet, guys. Pretty sweet. Yeah, talk about a diamond in the rough, and she is rough. And in case you guys are wondering what I was wondering, so when you look at the idle jet here and the main air bleed, and when you read on here, it essentially says that this guy talks to this guy via this cutaway on the gasket, note cutaway gasket. So that's my first red flag I noticed. Well, I guess in this case now it's a green flag. Why I was like, well, why can't this guy talk to this guy? Well, it can, but it has to go around the venturi and whatnot. But my understanding of these carburetors is still kind of iffy, so I don't really want to act like I know what I'm talking about. But again, these carburetors and the way they're designed is honestly very ingenious. And if you're a dork like me, get one of these manuals and just read through it, because there's just so much you could learn from these cool old tractor manuals. Well, I feel like I'm putting lipstick on a pig here, because I cleaned up certain parts on this and other parts aren't on this tractor, but it's a thought that counts. Anyways, I got the air cleaner nice and clean, spick and span. Another nice thing too is that this air cleaner has the little nipple on the back of the air intake here. Something the other H doesn't have. So it's the little things that count. It's the little features. Up you go. You know, there's a lot of things I praise International for, but one thing is that I don't is the way that they designed this air cleaner bracket. It's like you got to take off the back support of the darn, whatever gauge conning tower thingamabobber here for stuff. Man, grammar is my strong suit today, but I get these little skinny fingers, so I guess it kind of works out. All right, got her on. I found out the trick here. I'm going to leave it loose because I don't have the manifold on it yet, so let me caulk it a little bit to mock it up. Is stick the bolt in the back with an extension through, but on the top here, you run the bolt first. On the here, you run the bolt from the back. Bolt on top this way, bolt on back that way. And that's the easiest way to mount this up. I don't know if that's 100% politically correct, but my goodness gracious, if we worry about even small things like that, are we really living life? I'm also tightening up this breather here, and I also, in that service manual, learned why they have these breathers. So the reason this breather goes on here, besides the fact that obviously, you know, it's good to have an engine to have a breather, is because it actually connects to that tube there on the governor housing. And that governor housing needs to be vented for condensation, and they don't want it rusting up in there, obviously. So that tube actually is a part of the passage that connects all the way over to this air breather here. And also there is the little holes in the tube, because as this tube goes across here, it goes underneath the valve cover into here. Well, underneath the valve cover there's a couple little holes there too to allow the actual crankcase to ventilate into there as well. So, you know, obviously it's a breather. I'm sure most of y'all knew that, but a little extra thing I learned is it's also a breather for the governor. So the more you know. I'm realizing there's one part I forgot to clean, and that's this. So guess I'll have to give that some cleaning. But yeah, before we head on now to the snowblower, because I've already accomplished pretty much everything I can for tonight, I just got to say, I think the person that owned this tractor before me, or well, probably owned it a few decades ago, really cared about this thing, because they had this cool little head stud block heater, which unfortunately doesn't work anymore. They have an external block heater on it, which I guess I never really seen on these. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't really feel the need for it. My other H starts totally fine in the cold, but I'm not going to judge. Not going to judge. And it had the steel shift knob, which I actually put on the other H for now, and the fire craters. So again, this is a very interesting specimen of Farmall H. I remember I did trace the VIN, and it was a 1947, but maybe I'll have to take a look at that again. And it's an X1, so that means it is a gas engine, obviously. Maybe we'll just have a little gander here at the serial on the engine and see if that matches the serial on the chassis here. Now, if memory serves me right, I think it's right here. Oh, yeah. There it is. There's a nice flat tag there. Well, I know she's hard to see, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it. That is the same code, ending in 927. If you could see right there. So this is a parts matching tractor, at least from the bottom end to the back end. And truth be told, I don't know where to find the number on the cylinder head, but I'm not that worried about it. So very interesting, very interesting. This thing has been kept on, for lack of better words. All right, buddy, show me your secrets. Come on, let go. Let go. Oh, just a little thing. So the culprit with this guy is it leaks fuel, and I'm guessing our leak is going to be behind this right here. So next up, we got to take, looks like a couple little 10 mils out, and then we should be dialed. Now upon taking it apart here, I wanted to see how these worked, and it's real simple. It's just a system that spins, and it's just a tensioner that's essentially on a lever, just like a timing belt tensioner. But I was like, what the heck is this? So I go to digging in here. There's just a rod. I have no clue how that got in there. Like, not the faintest clue. I mean, I'm guessing what happened is it ended up in some rocks and it somehow literally sucked it in. So there's a first for that. But yeah, I'm happy it didn't burn up that belt. Anyways, I removed those 10 mils. I think I've been in here before. Note the zip tie. But if I was in here, it was a long time ago. So this was my parents' old snowblower. They got a bigger Cub Cadet now, and they just had no use for this, so I took it. All right, fine. Take you off too. And it does have an electric start as well. I guess I've never really used that before. I've just always hand cranked them, but I don't know, I guess it's kind of a bougie unit. All right. Had to remind myself, I got a tripod for a reason. It's like our fuel primer thingamabobber there. I don't really see where there'd be a fuel leak, but I know this was leaking fuel, so maybe what happened is, my guess is this was running and I turned it off, and it still was leaking fuel. Maybe the needle and seat on it is actually stuck, so it keeps dumping fuel in the bowl even though it's not running. Right now it's obviously not leaking, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to dump some fuel in there and we're going to see what happens, and if it does start leaking, give that a couple whacks and see if it'll come around. This has been sitting all summer long, and I don't think I put any heat in it until this winter, so it definitely could be some gummed up junk in there. And then it has this suggestion of a fuel filter here, which is literally just like the mesh screen on your screen door, so it's just as useful as a screen door on a submarine. And I can say I am really glad that we're getting snow. We haven't had a good snow here in Minnesota in at least 5 years. This was the first snow that actually stuck, so I'm glad. I will take it. Now, if you're up from northern Minnesota, obviously you got better snow up there, but I'm from southern Minnesota. I kid you not. Iowa, you see that light over there? That's an ethanol plant, and that's on the Iowa side. That's how close I am to Iowa. So yeah, I guess, you know, I'm in the deep south of Iowa. I'm in the Dixie of Minnesota, I mean. Now time for a little bit of fuel. Ugh. Any fuel leaks? Huh. Nothing yet. I suppose I'll top her off. Whoever buys this for me on Facebook Marketplace, I'm getting a full gallon of gas. I should add on another $3. Oh shoot, no, wrong angle. Well, I guess it looks good so far. Don't see anything weird yet, so I guess what I'm just gonna do here, put her back on, try and run her a little bit and see if we have any fuel leaks. I don't think I primed the primer bulb too much. I don't think that's why it was leaking. I remember I came back to the barn few minutes later, and there's just the smell of fuel, and it was all over the ground, which is where you want to store your hay. Obviously, it's a bunch of gasoline on the ground. So yeah, weird. Key in, spark plugs in. Smelling fuel. If you don't do that, you're not a guy. Just burning the carbon off the valve. Now, if there's one thing that my grandpa did hoard, it seemed, was a whole bunch of bottles of heat. I mean, we just have a whole bunch of them, just and like some antique, just all sorts of stuff. I got in my truck, it's just full of these bottles of heat. And, you know, mystery oil and whatnot. So we're going to dump some of this in there just to keep on that a little bit. And then I guess we'll test it out in the driveway. And you know it's an older bottle because it was only 57 cents. That's interesting. Well, so far so good. I don't see any fuel leaks, so I think it was just a messed up needle and seat. Kind of banged it with the Leatherman there. I think she came back around, so I guess we'll just start putting her back together. Shut it off with the choke. The old key never works on all the things I've had like this. It never works. Anyways, guys, this is the story thus far on the Firecracker H. I'm going to call this the Firecracker H just because it sounds cooler than Fire Crater. She really is a diamond in the rough. It's surprising us every day. I mean, it's rough. It's had a rough life, but I think someone cared about it. I mean, just judging by the drawbar and how ovaled out it is, it's rough, so yeah. Anyways, I gotta go, but I appreciate you guys watching the video. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Helps us out. And hit that hype button as well. It's another cog we threw in the algorithm, and I guess we just gotta feed it. You guys have a great rest of your night, day, wherever you're at. Have a good one.